Hi guys, it's Christina within the garden. It is September now and it's 80 degrees out, 7 o'clock at night, and it's cool enough to where we're going to do some cutbacks on some flower bed items that are a little worn out from the heat. So you'll see when I show you where we're talking about. So if you're at the end of your summer months and easing into fall, September is still a summer month, but we're going to start doing some fall planting, and sometimes we shift into mums and cabbage for different flower beds and things like that. So the sweet potato vine and some of the bulbs that died all the way back and we let live through the summer months, we're going to bring it down to the soil surface now. So let me show you what we've got going on today. So these performed spectacularly. However, some of the, you'll see, like these older ones here are kind of tattered versus the new ones that are more chartreuse. Like this is a new leaf. I'm going to take back some of this just because you can't see the pot. The osteosperm is trying to reach for the sun because the sweet potato vine has really overgrown it. And look at this, sweet potatoes. I don't grow this for the actual sweet potatoes. I think this particular variety is more ornamental sweet potato. I can't say for sure, but as you can see, we've got a lot of worn out leaves from the summer and really just a huge amount of growth. So I'm going to come through here and chop it back. Salvia is doing really well. These started out really tiny. Those are just beautiful. These are getting watered right now, but I'm going to come back and cut out the dead foliage from the hostas. And then if you can see right in here is from our allium. And you want to let, these are actually bulbs, so we want to let them live through the summer months so they absorb the nutrients from the sun, put it back into the bulb. So next year they're going to actually be even better bulbs for us. So we're going to do that. Got some new growth on our Shasta daisies. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in here and get around the sprinkler. Not the best time, but it's okay. So when the sprinklers go off, we're gonna actually cut back all the bloom stalks from the lamb's ear. That's not the look we're going for at all. Oh, and I got a really cool tool, a sickle, to shear back the lavender. So that's a little overview of this bed. Let's go look at the other one. If I can get through that other bed, these, what are they called? Not foxglove, but gay, I'll put it up on the screen. It's like gay flower, but they have these beautiful purple plumes and they're bulbs, so we can cut these down to the surface now, and next year they'll actually grow back for us again. That was actually a crop that did incredibly well. I didn't expect that bulb to do well. We're going to take off some spent blooms off the hydrangea today. And there we go. Our little lavender is going to get sheared back with our new sickle. And then I did a bunch of pruning on the echinacea, but we're going to take these down to the ground as well. This was the allium. Let's see if it'll release. These have the tiniest bulbs. So part of the reason I wouldn't pull the top like I would. Oh, it did it. Okay, good. The reason I wouldn't pull the top normally like I would a tulip is because the bulb is so tiny under the surface that I worry, I'm sticking that back there because I don't know if it's one. I worry that I'm pulling the bulb out because, to be honest, the flower has much more substance or surface area than the actual little bulb we put in the ground itself. Now, if you see these are either, I mean, honestly, this is what it looked like when they first came up. So either these are late bloom alliums and they got stuck in the mix, and these are really late blooms. We've got some over there, but we're going to take these ones down to the ground as well. So in your summer months, it's really nice to have vibrant flowers, and when it gets toward, let's say, end of August, beginning of September, it's almost mid-season for these flowers. So if we cut some of them back, not the bulbs, but if we cut some of them back, they have time to reflush. So The lavender and the lamb's ear can reflush again. The hostas can reflush again. The sweet potatoes can reflush again. All the bulbs we're just taking off the tops until next season. So. Okay, sweet potato done. Here's how I know that that was necessary. See all these dead leaves? All the under foliage was dying back. And so we'll get our blower in here and blow all this out. This has a fresh new start. These were suffering. Let me show you why this was important. These were suffering because they were having to grow up and out of the canopy and find the sun. So tempted to cut it right off and let it regrow, but it's the end of the season, so we'll just let it be. And these ones are really pretty. I really like how pretty those are. These are the new heads. That's an aged bloom compared to the brand new bloom. And this is our lantana. And then we've got, I'm just going to yank those out when we're done with these, but I don't even grow them for the sweet potatoes. I grow them for the foliage out here anyway. In the garden it would be different. So let's go tackle some stuff over there. These are the spent flowers of the hosta. Hostas like a lot of shade, so if you have some burnt leaves, you can also use this time to kind of come in and groom it up. We've got our spent leaves and our spent blooms. Okay, now these are the allium. Got a weed. Okay, so we're just going to go to the ground level and take some. Easy enough. So this is the sickle that I got on Amazon. When it came in, Joe and I agreed that it's more or less a machete. So what I was expecting was something like this long from tip to handle, not this long. But imagine, so you're going to grab it and you're going to shear it back. Now, interestingly enough, the sharp edge is the one that you're pulling toward you. I guess you could go this way, but that would be a really awkward motion. So let's try it out. The lavender smells amazing. So if you really wanted to, especially since you have a tool that's going to take it down to the foliage canopy, you could try to take these inside, but I'm not gonna today. But ideally, so grab a bunch. It's not that sharp, but I'm just worried about cutting my leg off in the process. Let's try going like this. Not seeing the benefit of this, so I'm going to go back to these. The reason we're taking these plumes off, or these flower stems, is because at this point the lavender has pushed out all of the pollen, so these would have been, you know, covered in flowers, and now that the flowers are gone, if we take them off, it'll grow new flowers. I'm going to try this again, mostly because it does go a little faster and maybe my method isn't so great, or my technique isn't so great yet. So let's just try it one more time. I think we can go this way too. Yeah, that's much better. And then the knife's going away from me. Oh yeah, okay, I see. So don't pull towards you, push away. And then you can use a little more force because you don't have to be worried you're going to machete your leg. The lavender itself, the canopy itself, I feel like has a lot of aromatherapy, if you will. And so the actual canopy, it'll grow up, and it did in a couple of spots. So I just trimmed it back, the foliage itself, to keep it kind of uniform. And I'm just touching this up. We'll move over to the lamb's ear. These gigantic, not so necessary foliage flowers. And what I've decided this year is I don't even like them. So in the future, I'm not really going to let them grow. I'm just going to cut them back when they first come up. And a lot of people do that with hostas, is they don't like hosta flowers, so they'll just cut them back. I think when it sprawls out across the ground like this, it just doesn't look good. This is what I'm talking about. When we get these really ugly, I mean, these are spent, right? They were pretty when they were flowering, but they really weren't. They were just stemming up from the foliage and didn't really look nice. And what I'd rather my lamb's ear do is spread out and fill out. So look at this. You might think this is a good one, but if you look back at this stem, it's got a really skinny stem and it's trying to crawl across the ground. And so we want to just take those off so that it's not trying to gain height. It just needs to create like a blanket. Getting pretty dark, so I'll finish the other flower bed tomorrow.